What's up, drumheads? Sorry I've been out of the YouTube loop for a while. Just been busy gigging and teaching and husbanding and giving my first drum clinic. So giving a drum clinic is something that I've wanted to do for so long and never jumped the gun on it because I was scared, I was nervous, always thinking, oh, no one's gonna show up, or like, am I even good enough to give a drum clinic? And then finally I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna throw myself in the fire, let's do it. So we made it happen. My buddy Gio owns a recording studio / rehearsal space here in Cape Town, and he was like, hey, you can do the clinic here, and he helped me with everything and prepped everything for me, and we made it happen. So I was busy just prepping stuff and trying to think of what to teach and practicing what songs I wanted to play and shitting my pants, but I think it turned out as good as it could for a first clinic, you know? The public speaking was a bit nerve-wracking in the beginning to me. I wasn't used to like having a microphone to my face and speaking to an audience that doesn't reply to you. It's kind of weird, you feel like you're talking to a wall, but you just have to go with it, you know? And it's these learning experiences that I gained from doing this clinic that will make the next one easier, you know? So I'm super stoked about it, and there are mistakes. I messed up things during the clinic. There's like probably some cringy parts of it, but that's fine, you know, it was my first one. I was hesitant to post the whole thing on here, but I'm gonna post the whole thing on here. If you guys wanna watch the whole thing, you can watch the whole thing. It's a long video. The audio is really shitty. We were gonna have a videographer come, but he couldn't make it. So I just recorded it with my Canon M50. No audio. I just wanted something to have for a record, you know, that way I could look back and laugh at how stupid I look on stage, you know? But yeah, I had a huge blast doing it. I had like a PowerPoint presentation kind of thing. I had a projector and everything. That way people could see kind of what I was talking about. I never seen a drum clinic like that actually, but I think it helps a ton. So maybe I'll use that idea more in the future. But yeah, it was a super fun experience. Super cool to get all the drummers of Cape Town together. Such a great community. Drummers are awesome, always, super supportive. There's some parts missing from the clinic because my camera shuts off after 30 minutes of shooting for some reason. But the majority of the clinic is in there, so you guys can get the gist of it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you hated it. So I'm gonna stop talking now. This video is already gonna be like an hour and a half long. So enjoy my first drum clinic.
So yeah guys, give it up for Brandon.
What's up, guys? Hey. This is pretty cool. I learned how to use the mic before. Sorry. I'm a drummer, I'm not used to having a mic up to my face, you know? Speaking to a mic. Okay guys, well thanks for coming out here. This is my first drum clinic ever. I'm really stoked about it. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. You know, I make the YouTube videos and all that stuff, and I've always wanted to do a clinic and bring a bunch of drummers together just to hang and talk and learn about stuff, you know. And I love the drums. I love learning the drums. I love teaching the drums and trying to explain it in a way that people can understand, because that's how I learned, you know. Like the drums are a super complex thing. You know, you got like 4 limbs and there's like shit tons of drums to hit. It's like, what are you supposed to do? You know, it gets pretty scary, you know. So just try to simplify things, and gonna try and explain the way that, you know, I think about drums in my head during this clinic, and kind of go over some groove stuff, go over some fill stuff, some chop stuff, because that's basically what drumming is, just grooves and fills, you know, one or the other. So I'm gonna start off with playing some tracks for you guys. Yeah, let's get into it. Cool. Thanks to Gio and Soundcast for making this clinic possible. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do this, you know what I mean? So for him to offer his space for this is really awesome. So let's give it up for Gio. This is cool. You ready? Are you guys ready? Yeah. I'm not. week. It's California Waves by Larry Basilio. And I heard it on Spotify and I was like, that's a dope tune. I want to play that for the clinic. So I practiced it 10 minutes before the clinic, and that's... I'm sorry. Alright, next track I want to play for you is by Kaz Rodriguez. It's 7 to the power of 6. So try and guess what time signature this song is in. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. one that I was worried that I would mess up, which I did. I'm gonna make mistakes tonight, which I'm fine with. Part of this clinic, I'm definitely gonna be making mistakes because I want to show you guys kind of the process of practice, like what actual practice is, and the things that you should be going through when you're practicing. You know, the things you should be thinking about. Yeah. So let's kind of get into this first section. I kind of want to let you guys into my mind and how I think about the drums. You know, if I went to a clinic, that's kind of what I would want to know is how this person thinks of the drums, what's going through their mind, you know. So in my mind, I always picture a little piece of graph paper, like a grid, as they call it, okay? And on this grid, each box is going to represent 1/16th note. Okay, you guys don't need to be super musically heavy to understand this stuff. There's 16 boxes, 16 notes, okay? And I kind of imagine, like, on this top line, okay, that's where our hi-hat's gonna go. So we plug in, you know, those little X's every 8th note, okay? Every other 16th note. And then snare typically goes on 2 and 4, right? Unless you're one of those people who clap on 1 and 3. We know who you are. And kick, we're gonna keep it simple on 1 and 3. This is just to explain kind of how I think of the grid in my mind. Because this is literally the basis for everything. You know, any groove you want to play, you can place on this grid. If it's in triplets or something, then there would be 3 boxes per quarter note. So 1 and 2, and, you know, and every note should have a purpose and a place. And I feel like as drummers, when we learn stuff, you know, we just kind of want to puke all that stuff on the drums and like try and fit notes in where they shouldn't necessarily go. And every note should have a place. You know, you should know what subdivision you're playing in, like if it's 16th notes or 8th notes or triplets or sextuplets. It all has a place, okay? How many of you guys know how to read music? Show of hands. You don't have to like, you know, sight reading. Okay. Well, look at that. That looks pretty dang similar, doesn't it? You got the kick on the bottom, the snare in the middle, and the hi-hats on top. So instead of picturing an actual staff, I'm not classically trained in drums and stuff. I learned all this stuff from YouTube. If you want to learn anything, go on YouTube. Leave this clinic now and go on YouTube. You can learn everything that I'm going to show you here. We're so lucky because we have all that stuff at our fingertips. Anyways, so that's kind of what I think about. Another way I think about it is, okay, imagine you have a computer, okay? And this computer is programming, it's controlling a human or a robot or whatever, okay? Stay with me here, okay? We have our little grid program on the computer, okay? And in that program, we can assign, like, okay, I want the right hand to play 8th notes. And I want the left hand to play the backbeat, right? So that little wire's connected to your left hand. That's what's controlling your left hand. Right foot plays a kick on the 1, and then also your left foot. Your left foot's doing something as well. It's holding down the hi-hat most of the time. So we have 4 limbs. We use 4 limbs, okay? But that's kind of how I think about it. When I'm making grooves and stuff, I think about it in layers, okay? Because you can kind of assign your right hand one job while your kick is doing something else, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how I go about practicing grooves, is with using the grid and ostinatos. So what an ostinato is any repeating pattern, okay? So, like, that's an ostinato. If you're playing snare on 2 and 4, that's an ostinato. That's a repeating pattern. So what I do is I like to basically think of, like, my hands are doing the same thing on top, right? Playing a normal 8th note groove. And I want to work on changing up the kick pattern. Because I think the kick, when you play with the band, you know, the most common groove you play is like an 8th note groove, like boom, got, boom, got. And a lot of the times, when I played gigs, I'd be on stage and they're like, oh, the client wants to hear this song. Do you know it? And I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, we're gonna play it anyway. So I like looked at the bass player and I'm like, what do I do? And I get the 4 count and then I just start and then I just listen to the bass player. Whatever the bass player is playing, that's what I mimic on the kick drum. you know, for the most of the time. So if the bass player is going like boom, 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 then I'll go. Oh man, I ruined my setup here. I need a mic stand, Gio. Where were we? Okay, kick displacement. Yeah, so that's why it's important to have freedom with the kick drum. So if you want to play a gig, I guarantee if you can play this beat on top, right, the hi-hat on top, 8th note, snare on 2 and 4, and kick. And what you want to do is gain freedom with that kick. So we're basically going to be doing an exercise where we're displacing that kick across the grid. And I know tons of drummers do this. It's basically going to look like this, right? So we're just moving the kick across the grid and then back to the beginning. But these are all individual exercises. And what you're doing when you do this is you're covering every single possible option where you can place that kick drum. So you're taking out the guesswork. Like, think of the computer program, you're programming it in as you're practicing these displacements. And then, in theory, after you've practiced all of these, then you should essentially be able to play anything. Think about it, because you've put the kick in all those spots, you know. And then, so you can just tell your hands on top to just keep playing the same thing, and then freestyle with the kick, you know. So I'm gonna go through these exercises, just pushing that kick displacement over 1/16th note across the grid. Cool? And just, you guys can kind of see how that sounds. All right, here we go. Should I have a click on for this? Maybe that'll be easier. Put a click on, hold up. Is that loud? Okay, so the first one, kicks just on the 1 and the 3. Alright? It's simple enough. I'm going to move it to the E. So it's going to go 1 E, 2, 3 E, 4. 1 E, 2, 3 E, 4. 3 E, 4. 1 E. Next one. I'm going to end 1 E. Alright. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now on the 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2. It's really hard to count and do this at the same time. So let that be a lesson to you guys that counting out loud is a skill while playing these things. So even while you're doing these things, counting it out loud, it's like a 5th limb. It's like adding a 5th limb to it. Maybe you'll be able to do it without counting out loud. But if you guys want to make it even harder, then count out loud. So I'm going to try on the 2. So I'll put this kick on the 2, right under the snare. So, I don't know if you guys know Matt Garcia, he does this same exercise. A lot of drummers do the same thing. Hello, check, check. A lot of drummers use this method. I'm not the one to come up with this, you know, but to me it makes the most sense because, like I said earlier, you're just covering every single option, okay? Do you think that's it? No, that's not it. You can do 2 kicks, right? So we can displace 2 kicks. Because that's a total different feel from just hitting the kick once, hitting those 2 kicks. And that's going to be the majority of the combinations that you use when, you know, playing the kick drum with a bass player or something like that. It's going to be like 1 kick or 2 kicks. Unless you're playing metal and you have a double pedal and you got to do like 200 kicks in a row, like 200 BPM. But I'm not a metal player. So let me go through these kick displacements too, just so you guys can hear how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the E and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2. On the and 3, 4, 1, 3 and 4, 1 and 2. It's so hard to continue doing this and change this at the same time. All right, here we go. 2. 3, 4. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. See, that's a weird one for me. So if I were in the practice room, I would sit here and practice this forever. So you feel comfortable, right? And I try counting. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Right? Next one, 2E. 1 and 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and then back. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And then now this one is on the 1 and the or the and the 3. It goes into the downbeat. So a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Cool. So you do the same thing with twice as many kicks as well. And this is a pretty good kick drum like speed workout if you want to get your foot up to speed doing these 2 kicks in a row. So I'm gonna just go through these as well. 2, 3, 4. So that's what I did when I wanted to learn how to like free up my kick drum. So when you're playing a bass player or a band or whatever, just think about it like that. Think about your hands are on autopilot on top, and just maybe try freestyling with the kick drum. If you're in the practice room at home, just see what happens. You know, just. Like that, and then you'll have the freedom to be able to do that. And nothing else is changing up here on top. You know, only thing that's changing is that right foot. So I guess that's the goal, to be able to put things on autopilot and focus on kind of what you're improvising with, you know. So I kind of think of my limbs like that. So here's some stuff for kick speed. This exercise, I used to play double pedal. I used to be reliant on that double pedal, and I wasn't able to play on the normal kit with like a single pedal. And I was working at Guitar Center back in the States, and I remember my coworker being like, "Oh, that's cheating, you're using a double pedal, you know. So why don't you use one pedal?" So I was like, okay. So then I made these exercises for myself just to practice, and I'd sit behind the counter and just like put the pedal up to the counter. It was like a little practice pad, and I would just sit there and I would just go. Gradually speed up. Just to work on the kick drum, getting those 2 kicks in a row. Because I just needed an exercise. And then I put the backbeat on 3, and it kind of turned into like a cool little groove. So I could sit there and work on my kick while playing a groove, and I think the groove sounds cool. And you can like try and push the speed. I don't know how fast I can go, but we'll see. So those are the things that I used to try and get that kick up to speed when I didn't have the double pedal, you know? And the same thing we were doing earlier, I want you guys to always think about this, is that's not the only place we can put those kick drums, okay? We can displace them again. So on the 1 and the basically shifting it over, you know? So practice that combination, okay, in triplets. So it's kind of gonna sound like a shuffle, so. The hi-hat's cool because you can basically play the same thing between the kick and snare Like if I just play a normal beat, and you can change up the hi-hat, and it'll change the entire feel of the groove. But if you keep everything the same on the kick and the snare, or like, or triplet, so the hi-hat's a very expressive instrument, and I think it's very important to practice those different hi-hat options, different patterns. So you know you have like 8th notes and 16th notes. Why am I talking about it? I'm going to go through it. Okay, quarter notes. We're going to go through a bunch of hi-hat options right now. We're trying to blow through them. So you got basic quarter notes, right? You get 8th notes. Okay, what else do you think? You think I'm going to go 16th notes? No, because we can accent those 8th notes. Right? And I want you to think about those things too. Is you're playing the same thing, but you're accenting a different part. And it can make it sound entirely different. So if I accent the downbeat, what if I accent the upbeat? Those two are like the same groove, but if you accent them differently, then it sounds entirely different. Like one moment you're at a rock concert, the next moment you're at like the disco, you know? Like. Like the same groove, but you're just accenting different parts, you know? Okay, the next thing, we can put it on the E's and the U's. We can put those 8th notes on the E's and the U's, so it's gonna sound like. What if we accent those E's and U's? What if we accent just the E? Maybe I should use a click for this. Okay, we're gonna accent the Alright, so that's another option. I'm just trying to blow through this so that I can show you guys how much is freaking possible, okay? I'm not changing anything on the kick or snare. We're just doing different hi-hat options, okay? So 16 notes. Oh my god, he's going to displace the accents. Yep, we're going to displace the accents. Right, so those are all different options. Don't think that when you just play a 16-note groove that like you got it down. Try and throw the accents in those different places, you know? And you can even do the same thing with two hands. Okay, so most, I don't know if you guys know like a basic 2-hand 16th-note beat. Same thing, you can accent those and move those accents around. So accent the downbeat. Try and throw the accent on the E's, so it's going to be with the left hand. Try and put it on the ands. And then on the us. And that frees up your hands to be able to accent any of those patterns. So say, like the guitar player is playing a pattern that's like bum, 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 bum. I don't know why the guitar player would be playing a pattern like that. But if you wanted to accent that pattern, then you go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to be able to accent those random notes when playing the 16th notes. So those exercises kind of give you freedom for that. More hi-hat options, like groups of 3. Okay, accenting that last note. Guess what? Yeah, we can move it across the grid.
Next one. This is a really common one. And then the weirdest one that you're never going to use, but it's an option. It's accenting the E. So. Have you ever heard that in a song? No. So why are you going to practice it? I don't know. It's an option. And that's kind of the point I want to get across to you guys, is just, I guess, understanding what's possible. Sorry about that. This is my first time. I just wanted to show you guys what's possible, you know, and hopefully you guys you leave here and you're like, Brandon showed me way too much shit, you know, like my brain's fried now and I don't remember any of the clinic. This is more options, okay, so I'm gonna accent every 3rd, 16th note. So, I don't wanna get too deep into this just for time's sake, but it's basically gonna be like a 3/4 polyrhythm going on. So let me just play it for you guys so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. Playing this polyrhythm stuff really helps your ear training, like being able to hear that 3/4 polyrhythm. It comes up a lot in music and stuff like that, and you know, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get too deep into this stuff because it gets pretty intense. So if it's a pattern of 3, right, 3 16th notes, then it's going to repeat after 3 bars, or after the pattern underneath repeats 3 times. So if you look at the kick and the snare, right, it happens 3 times, and then that pattern of 3 will meet up again with that downbeat on 3. So that's just kind of how these things work. Learning these polyrhythms, like 3/4, 5/4, will help you when making patterns and stuff too, and you know, tricking people and having people think like, oh my god, where's the drummer? The drummer doesn't know where the 1 is, and then bang, hit the 1, and everyone's like blown away, you know? Like, did the drummer change tempo or something? No. He's probably playing a polyrhythm, you know? Same thing goes for like groups of 5, so this is something I was working on too. And again, it's going to repeat after the pattern underneath repeats 5 times. So, let me just play that for you guys so you hear what it sounds like. So yeah, that's just kind of stuff I've been working on. Trying to like play the same thing with the kick, and then you know, try and free up the hi-hat. That way, you know, you can play anything you want, I guess. But I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, you know. All right, we're gonna talk about some ghost notes. This is gonna get pretty redundant, but I'm doing these exercises for you guys, so you'll see kind of. You probably understand already that I'm just going through those displacements for everything. But before we get into the displacements, I just want to show you this, because this is the first like ghost note exercise I ever learned. Just right, left, left. My drum teacher told me this. You're accenting the right hand and you're ghosting those two notes on the left hand, and just see how it feels, you know. I use this all the time in my licks. I start every lick with like right, left, left. Or, you know, it's a great introduction into just accenting one hand and ghosting the other hand, you know what I mean? So if you guys have never played ghost notes, never gotten into it or whatever, just practice that. Try and hit harder with your right hand and then 2 soft notes with your left hand, you know? And then try moving it around the toms, like move your right hand around the toms. Speed it up or whatever you need. That's what makes most of my licks, most of my 16-note licks is this right, left, left pattern here. Another thing is, most of you guys probably know this, is playing a paradiddle groove, okay? So playing a paradiddle just between the hi-hat and the snare, so your right hand's on the hi-hat, left hand's on the snare. You play a paradiddle, you just put a kick on the downbeat there, so. Tough part is like making those ghost notes quiet and those accents loud. You know what I mean? You want to be able to hear the difference. A lot of times when people play this beat at the beginning when they first learn it, it's kind of like, you don't really hear the difference between the ghost notes, but you want to make sure that those little gray notes, I made them a little gray, those are ghost notes. So just make them quieter, and it's tough to get used to that in the beginning, but it's like with drums and anything, it's just repetition, You have to put in the time, put in the effort, and not have any friends if you want to be really good at the drums. So, another option too, if you think this is easy, then try displacing the kick across this. I'm not going to do that. Well, I'll try a little bit, but that's just another option, So then you can have kick freedom over like a paradiddle groove on top. But yeah, just try and displace it that way, and then try and just play over that, like change the kick pattern, See, I can't even do that. I knew how to flop. But that's the point of this, show you guys those exercises and show you the possibilities, okay? So, like I said, yeah, this is kind of what's going through my mind. I always picture this grid. So for these ghost notes, I'm gonna have the hi-hat on top, snare on 2, and kick on 1. We're just going to start displacing that snare ghost note underneath, okay? So, there's a quiet ghost note right underneath that kick. I don't know if you can hear it. Okay. Next one. And again, doing this is going to free up your left hand to be able to play ghost notes underneath any groove, Let's try it on the end. This is one of the most difficult ones because it's right before that accent, so it's like so. On the 2, I'm not going to play that one, but you can see the ghost note hidden underneath there. Just don't play it. Okay, 2E. On the end, 2N. Okay, same thing with 2. I'm just going to run through it quick so you can hear what it sounds like. What happened? Whoops. Cool? So, again, we worked on the snare, we worked on the hi-hat, worked on the kick. That's kind of how I think about those things. If you're in the practice room and you don't know what to practice, which happens a lot of the time, we get in there and we're like, I don't know what to practice, so I'm just gonna freaking jam out and play whatever the heck I want for an hour, and then tell my friends that I practiced for an hour. There's no practicing, you're just playing, Practice is when you're sitting there messing up like every 10 seconds, and it's strenuous and your brain hurts and you feel like your body's being pulled apart, That's some good practice right there. So, yeah, that's gonna conclude the groove section of this. Like I said, that's just how I think of it. I think of the layers, and I kind of just imagine, what my right hand's playing, what my left foot's playing, and putting things on autopilot and just freestyling with the kick, Yeah, so that's about it for the groove section. I'm gonna play a couple more tracks for you guys. Firstly, does anyone have any questions? No questions. Am I blowing through this? Is this just freaking too crazy or no? This is great being up here. Given, like, I feel like I'm just talking to nobody, you know? Yeah.
About 30-second notes, we do the same.
Same thing. Yeah, 30-second notes. But there would just be 32 squares on your little grid thing, you know? Yeah, so same thing with like 6 tuplets. So there'd be 24 in a bar, you know? And I think of the graph paper because that's what I had with me when I would like practice these things. I'd write them out in each little box and just pretend that each box is you know, where a note should go. And I think when you think of it like that, then you start thinking about how every note has a purpose and it should be in a certain spot, you know, and don't just kind of like put notes wherever you feel. They have a place where they can go. And if you play the notes in those places, go through the grid and do that, then do singles and doubles. I think J.P. Bouvet calls this the single-double res theory. He does the same thing, you just push those things through the grid. Matt Garsko does the same thing. And Matt Garsko talks about it like he's like traveling down a road, and whenever he's practicing and he messes up, he tries to work on it and fix it. He calls it like a pothole. So you fill in the pothole so that the next time you get to it, you know, you don't hit the pothole. And that's kind of how I think of these things. All those options. If you get like put the kick on the and you kind of have trouble doing it, then just sit there and work it out. Like fill that dang pothole, you know. So the next time you come across it, you can put the kick on the uhs. So yeah, that's pretty much how I think about it. Hope that made sense. Yeah, I want to play some songs now. Yeah, what's up?
What about ghost notes on the bass drum? Do you ever practice that?
Ghost notes on the bass drum? No, but you should actually. I mean, I guess if you're playing jazz, you know, but I don't really play jazz. I wish I could. Jazz is like a whole other world, you know. I pretend I can. Cool. So I'm gonna play a couple more tunes. I don't even know how long it's been. It feels like it's been like 2 hours up here. How long has it been, Gio? 45 minutes or so?
Yeah, more of this.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna play these tracks, and then maybe we'll do like a short break. Some people can use the bathroom, whatever. Cool.
The song just starts right away. I'm gonna try and catch it.
You ain't
Thank you guys. I guess now we can just take a short break. If you guys need to use the bathroom or something, like 5-10 minute break. Get some drinks. I need a drink. I have water. I haven't drunk any of it. Yeah, cool. Thank you guys. That was the boring section. This is the fun section. We're getting into fills and patterns. Okay. So a lot of the times, I mean, you hear about people playing crazy drum fills and stuff, and you think like, oh, is that just rudiments they're playing or patterns and stuff? It's basically all of that stuff, okay? So it's important to learn the rudiments, not all 40. There's like some good ones that you should learn, you know. Don't learn all 40 of them. But there's some rudiments to learn, but basically rudiments are just patterns, you know? So what I've been doing recently is just trying to find ways to come up with my own patterns and you know, implement them into my playing in a more natural way, rather than, you know, you learn a fill and then you just kind of regurgitate that same fill over and over again. You know, we all do that. We all have our favorite fill, our favorite lick, and we just repeat it over and over again. You know, and it's like if you're talking to someone and you just keep repeating the same sentence over and over again, it's going to get boring. If you're talking to someone and you just repeat the same sentence over and over again, it's going to get boring. If you're talking to someone, you know, it's the same thing. So if you're going digga 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 digga, you know, people are gonna catch on and realize what you're playing. And the whole point is that you wow the crowd and they don't know what the heck you're playing. You know, that's a part of being a drummer. You know, you want to trick people, be like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, you don't know what I'm doing now. You know, I don't know. So this is just my mindset on creating fills and patterns. These are some of the exercises that I came up with recently. I'm still working on them. And this is one of them. It's a pattern pyramid. I did a YouTube video on this. I don't know if anyone saw it, but basically, if you notice here, it's the same pattern at the bottom. It's a group of 4, right? But if we just take one of those notes away, right, we got a group of 3 right above it, and then at the very top, a group of 2. So, and obviously you can see right, left at the top. Those are both going to be accented, okay? Right, left, left. Those 2 lefts are going to be ghost notes, and then right, left, left kick, those 2 lefts are still going to be ghost notes, okay? And what I've been doing is using this pattern to create different patterns, like bigger patterns, like patterns of 5, okay? So you got a pattern of 2, a pattern of 3, a pattern of 4, now a pattern of 5. If you mix that pattern of 2, and then right next to it, the pattern of 3, you see? So right, left, left. So mic stands, dude. Drummers aren't supposed to deal with this stuff, you know? Gio, the snare mic is way too high, bro. Okay.
Are you for real?
No, I'm joking. This is the snare. I'm a drummer, dude. I'm not used to using a microphone. Come on. Okay, so the pattern of 5. So we got right, left, left. Okay, so you can even use that as a lick if you want. Like just right out the gate, so let me see. And it creates these cool different phrases. You know, when you make patterns of 5 and patterns of 7, it doesn't sound so monotonous. You know, you're not playing the same thing over and over again. And people aren't used to really hearing those 5 patterns, okay? So you can even do the same thing backwards, okay? So you don't have to go right, left, left. You can go right, left, right, left. Right? Left? Yeah. So let me try that. Try and move it around the toms and just see what feels comfortable. Once you get the pattern down, sit there and practice it, then just kind of move your hands around and experiment and see what sounds good, you know? So I'm going to try right, left, and just kind of move my hands around and see what sounds good. I don't know. You can add a kick underneath there. a pattern of 5. What if you want to make a pattern of 6? Okay, so we'll use that pattern of 4 and the pattern of 2. 4 plus 2 equals 6. In case you drummers didn't know. So let's try this pattern. Right, left, left, kick, right, left. Sit there and work it out. I guarantee there's a speed that all of you can play this lick at. So when we learn a lick, when we see this, we're like, oh, shit, dude, I can't play that. I bet you if you go right, left, left, kick, right, left, and you guys can play that, right? So what if you bump up the BPM like 1 BPM a day? And maybe in 5 years you'd be as fast as me. No, but that's the truth, you know. Why don't all of us? Why do we like just try and like chop it out, you know? Like play it sloppily when we can cleanly practice it slow, you know? Same thing. Try and work on those ghost notes. Make the ghost notes quiet. And then move your hands around and explore. This is like my favorite lick right now. I love this one, and this is the lick that I regurgitate over and over again. In case some of you may have noticed, Dylan, he's good at his sextuplets, whereas he probably, yeah, he knows what I'm playing over and over again. Same thing, same pattern. So practice the pattern, practice moving around the kit, see what feels comfortable, and then obviously the point of practicing these patterns is to implement them into our playing and use it as a fill eventually, you know? So practice playing a groove for 3 bars, and then practice chop. You gotta make sure you hit that 1. If you don't hit that 1, you failed miserably. Messed up. I changed up the fill. So naturally, sometimes you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to play the fill, and then you'll go into doing something different. That's just what us drummers do, I guess. But the point is to stay focused and play the same thing, you know. So let me try again. There you go. What about a pattern of 7? Okay, we can take the group of 3 and the group of 4. Right, left, left, right, left, left, kick. That's kind of weird. A lot of us don't do patterns of 7. So, also, you probably should practice the stuff to a click. That way you can hear, you know, what subdivision you're playing in. So are you doing this 7 pattern? The 7 pattern is not septuplet, right? Yeah, 7. It's not a septuplet, it's a group of 7, okay? So if you're playing 16 notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, then you're playing this pattern at that rate. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, you know? To be conscious of that and think of the grid, you know, your little box of squares, and write this pattern out and see how it lines up with the click, you know? So let me put the click on and see if I can do this. No. Yeah, so being able to do that, being conscious of the click while you're playing these patterns is super important. But in the beginning, when you're practicing it, just forget about the click and just practice patterns, work on the patterns, and then, you know, try them on the toms, explore, and then play it in a group. That's my process when I'm learning new licks and stuff. Yeah, so another thing that I've been working on is my triplet vocabulary, coming up with different groups of 3, okay? So because again, I play the same thing over and over again. I play a 6-stroke roll, I play the same patterns. So I made this, that way I can have these different patterns and kind of reference it. So like A is right, left, left. B is right, left, kick. C is right, kick, left. D is kick, right, left. E is kick, left, left. And then F is right, right, left. And you can see where the ghost notes and accents are on that. So I did this so that I can basically combine these patterns, okay? So I can go A, B. This is right, left, kick. And I can create groups of 6. Instead of thinking of patterns and like small individual notes, like, oh my god, I had to fit 6 notes into this. You know, I thought it was easier if I had like chunks of 3, you know? So these chunks of 3 are little words, and I'm going to use these words to form sentences. That way, we can have a conversation on the drums, because that's what it's all about. So A, B, right, left, kick. That's pretty cool. I like that one. DA. I mean, we can do anything. Okay, DA is kick, right, left, left. You notice this is the same pattern, just displaced. Kick, right, left, left. If I go back here, right, left, kick, right, left, in the middle. So I just use the same patterns over and over again, okay? What about E and B? Kick, left, right, left, kick. This is a weird one. Oh, because there's 2 kicks, right? So there's a kick at the beginning and a kick at the end. So it's going to kind of go into itself, right? I never played that one. I wanted to put that one there so that I could kind of like try and work it out on stage. So I'm just going to sit there and kind of just work on it and move my hands around and just kind of see what feels comfortable. So. Surfaces on the kit and exploring. This is what my practice kind of looks like. You know, I just move my hands around and see what feels comfortable. Like I've said for like a millionth time. Okay. Oh, okay. Everything that we just did, you could do off the left hand as well. Okay. I'm not going to do that right now because that'll take forever. But that's the point. So if you'll notice on the right side, everything ends with a left or a kick. Right? And it starts with either a right or a kick. So that means you can loop those patterns and it'll always end up landing on the right hand again or a kick. So with the left hand, the left side, same thing. It's going to start with a left or a kick, and it's going to end with a right or a kick. That way, you just freaking loop the patterns over and over again, you know? So, now I'm going to try and kind of explain pattern displacement. So what we've been doing with the other stuff, with the grooves moving it across the grid, one thing that changed my perspective on drums and like how I think of fills and stuff is because of displacing patterns. So what happens if we push this whole pattern over to the right? Okay, that's displacing it one. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's 16 notes, 6 tuplet, because you don't even know what subdivision we're in. This is just a pattern right now. It's 6 notes. So right there, that left gets pushed off to the end. You just boop, just goes back there to the beginning, right? That's how we displace patterns. So originally we had this pattern: right, left, kick, right, left. Now we have left, left, kick, right. That's freaking weird, but it's the same pattern. You're just starting at a different spot. So it's not going to make sense unless I have a click. So let me put the click on. Hang on. that's the displaced one. But if I go back, this is the original one. You know, it sounds similar, but it doesn't at the same time. So you can do this all the way. So we displaced it once, you can displace it again. So right, left, left kick. So use that as a fill. You know, you can do that. Displace it again, it's going to start with the kick. So you can see it shifting over. That kick at the end, boop, goes at the beginning. Kick right, left, left. That's my favorite lick in the world. Same lick. And all those combinations, you should be able to technically play with all those displacements, but it's just really difficult for some reason because you are playing the same lick, but you're just starting at a different point. Okay? So with any pattern that you guys have, think about that. Think about things you're gonna have to write out on a piece of paper and put that work in. You know, make the conscious decision like, okay, I had this lick. I'm gonna write it on a piece of paper and write the displacements out and see what it looks like and see what it sounds like. Okay, I'll do this one. This one looks terrible because it starts with the ghost note. Left kick, right, left. What the frick, dude? It's basically that pattern, okay? So work through those displacements, you know, whatever pattern you have, think, however long the pattern is, this one's 6, that means there's 6 displacements that you can do to that pattern. So 6 different ways you can play the same lick and make it sound entirely different. Cool? Oh, this one starts with the diddles. Cool, so practicing those displacements helps you just work on those options. And then we're back home, back to the original displacement, okay? Okay, so now's the fun part. We're just gonna create a pattern. And there's one rule, no 3 same notes in a row, okay? So I'm gonna have you guys just put whatever you want up there. Kick, right, left, those are options, okay? You can do anything. But no 3 same notes in a row, and one suggestion is if there's 2 notes in a row, those are going to be ghost notes. Okay? So, hang on a sec. So I got my papers here. I got kicks, I got lefts, and I got rights. I don't know where I can put this up so you guys can see it. I got press stick. It's the best thing about South Africa. Press stick. So, okay. Kick, right, or left?
Let's do left. I hate you, man.
So I kind of want to show.
Short guys, you know.
Okay, cool. Left, right, left kick. Left.
How many areas?
Diddle, you starting this freaking diddle? Okay. Left, kick. So we got 2 lefts right there, so it's going to start with ghost notes, eh? Right. Okay.
Never kick.
Wow. This is cock, Rude. Left, kick, right, kick. Okay, one more. We're gonna do that on 6. So you got kick right or left. Actually, kick. Because the thing is, if you put a left there, that'll make 3 in a row. So much kick, bro. My foot's gonna be burning. Alright, so obviously I've never done this pattern before. So I'm gonna show you guys, I guess, what I would do when given a weird pattern and try and work it out. Just so you guys can kind of see what that looks like, you know. I've never seen anyone do this in a clinic before, like I'm gonna show the process of practicing things. Hello. like showing the process of practicing these things. And you always go to clinics and they like kind of blow your faces off, don't make any mistakes, and you go home kind of like wanting to throw your drumsticks away, you know. So, but I'm here with you guys because I'm practicing this stuff myself, and yeah, you know, we're all in this together. So, left, kick, right, kick. That's the darkest photo ever. Left, kick, right, kick. So those lefts are going to be ghost notes. But that's just a suggestion, okay? You can accent them if you're hearing Spears. Yo. Okay, so I'm already doing something wrong. I'm trying to play it fast. I'm just going to try and not make one mistake. I'm going to play it slowly and just speed it up at my own pace, okay? Yo, that's so hard. Those kicks.
Metal drum.
Oh man. Okay, so let's try this. What if I displace it and just see if it's easier to play? So let me try. Let me try it off the. No man, this is just not an easy pattern. Kick. I'm gonna start off the kick. So kick, right, kick, left. Let me see if that makes it easier. Sometimes it does. Yeah. No, does not make it easier. This pattern is weird. This pattern is weird. You've probably never used this pattern. All right, let me try kick, left, kick, right, kick. That's another displacement, okay? So I'm going to start with the kick at the very end.
And the camera died. That's all you get. Which I'm really bummed about because for the last song, I played Limelight by Rush and I dedicated it to the man upstairs, Neil Peart. He was a huge influence of mine and super sad that he passed away recently. He's the reason I pushed my drumming boundaries and tried to play all these difficult things, and I used to have a huge drum set, like toms all the way down, you know. He inspired so many people, and I just wanted to kind of pay my respects to him, you know. So my last song of the night was Limelight by Rush, and I freaking nailed it on that 4-piece kit. Totally killed it. Alright, anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching the video. If you watched the whole thing, then I applaud you. Sorry for the terrible audio, sorry for the missing clips, but I was just too nervous to really care about the video or audio side of it, you know? I just wanted the presentation to be good. I wanted the people to enjoy it, feel like it was worth it. I didn't want to be awkward on stage, you know, there were so many things that were going through my mind. And in the beginning I was really nervous, but then towards the end of the night, that kind of went away. I actually felt really comfortable on the stage by the end of the night, and it's really cool to feel that and like put yourself in those situations, like those uncomfortable situations, and then come out clean on the other side, you know? I think it's really important to do that, to like throw yourself in the fire and just see what happens. If it's a train smash, then it's a train smash. Like, you have another try, do it next time or whatever, you know? So I wasn't too hard on myself, I wasn't freaking out too much. I was trying not to, but I just tried to stay calm. And for a first clinic, I think it went well. I'm not gonna be too hard on myself about it. So I loved it, I wanna do more. I love teaching drums and explaining things, and hopefully people enjoy it too. Hopefully enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, hit that notification bell. Thanks for checking out BrandonScottDrums.com. Thanks for following me on Instagram. I'm trying to grow that following, you know, like we all are. I don't know why, but we are. Alright guys, I highly doubt the majority of people watching this video made it to this point. If you did, then you are my hero. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I love you so much. B Scott, out. Peace.